I'm broke the boss, I flip the script. Super Trucker Podcast got me fully equipped. Left the noise behind, now I'm stacking green. Voyager Nation made me live the dream.
Load board mistakes that Florida-based owner-operators are making all the time, I would say, sometimes.
Sometimes, most of the time.
Most of the times.
But top of the key is surging too late in the day for a load. Guys, if you like to sleep in, maybe trucking's not for you.
That's one. And number two, you should, soon as you are loaded going somewhere, that's when the searching starts. At least for me. That's for a good result. So let's say if you're Florida-based, right, coming out of Florida, let's say on Friday, you're heading into Florida to unload, let's just say in Tampa, on Monday, 8 a.m. Soon as you load it on Friday,
looking for that
with
outbound.
a load to Tampa, you start looking for that outbound at that very second, and that's how you're gonna have the most options available to you.
Yeah, another mistake is applying way too many filters onto the load that you're searching for.
Yes, that's another one, and let me just run very, very briefly because I can get lost into this shit. For example, especially in a tough market, if you're posting the weight, you already lost. You want to look at the max weight because here's the problem: most customers and brokers, we're not gonna nitpick the weight. We're just gonna post by default 45,000 pounds. And now imagine this: you're looking for a 30,000 pound load, and none is there because most of the people posting only the shitty ones there. Most of the people posting 45 by default, even though half of that freight is way less than that.
Yeah, because it makes sense. Somebody will post it at 30,000 because the rate is shit. So they're attracting you by the lower weight.
Yes. So always look for a max and figure out those weight situations later on in the conversation. Sometimes it can be as silly as back in the day we used to do a lot of consolidations. So we would be like, we would be calling on all the light freight. So for example, so you got 10,000 of, what's a commodity? And we're like, bricks. Okay, bricks, 10,000 pounds of bricks. That's what, like one pallet of bricks?
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Plenty of room.
So that's the name of a game. But other than that, in the shipping market, figure out the weight because that's, I guess, important. However, don't get stuck on it because you're going to miss out on a lot of freight that matches your search criteria just because people are being complacent.
Here you go. So we got the other one, misreading posted rates.
That's another one, man. I'm happy not to be dispatcher anymore, but like that, if I was a dispatcher, that would piss me off because like every time I hear owner operators calling dispatchers and we're like, I see this load ping like, Tampa to Georgia, $5,000, and now the dispatcher has already seen this load. We probably already called on that load. We already have all the information on that load. The problem is it's a round trip from Tampa to Los Angeles and then to Atlanta.
And sprinkle 15 stops on that.
Yes, and now it's $5,000 and now you gets you overexcited and then it becomes so much harder to accept a real load with real numbers.
Yeah. All right. Ignoring historical lane trends.
So, I would say this is semi-relevant. First of all, don't overextend yourself with over expectations, right? However, shoot for a max. Always shoot for a max. Shoot like as high as you can, and then shoot as high as you can. Get the best that you can get, but don't forget the reality. The reality is still there. The rates are still there because if you're gonna keep on pushing for way too much, you're gonna end up sitting with nothing.
Yeah, and you got to call because that's how you're going to gauge it. Because what the fucking matter what they were paying 8 months ago? Just call.
That's a fact. If you're deciding the rate of today before you made at least 20 phone calls on that specific lane, you don't even know. So
here you go.
You're running blind.
So posting your truck too early, is this a mistake or I don't know? Can it go both ways here, man?
Not yet, not in this market. However, there are markets and there are situations when sometimes I would not post truck at all. But for the most part, I haven't seen market like that for a while already, probably a couple of years. posting your truck as early as possible, making sure it's refreshed, making sure that all the details are there. And, again, weight, that's another one. Don't be posting your wish list on the weight. Like post max, but shoot for the lowest, right? The lowest, weight. That's the name of the game.
All right. What about not building your broker relationships? Is that a mistake? Or is this to a degree?
To a degree. For example, for us as a carrier, we have to build those relationships because most of the freight that we haul is booked through our regular contacts. So we have to have those, the loads that most of our owner operators are doing. We never even post it on load boards because all our regular customers, brokers, we sending us as their preferred carrier the information on what we have available. And if none of those carriers picks all of that up, only then it lands into the load board, especially in a tough market.
Yeah, I know, but for example, they say size doesn't matter, right? But I think it does because if you're a one-man army, let's say for somebody like us, all right, they call us, boom, we scoop up 5 outbound Monday loads at once. Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to take it, somebody on the fleet. We don't even really know who just yet. You just have the power to do, you have the power units to do so. But now if you're a one-man army, how many times can they actually call you? So
that too. So, however, I just don't want to send the wrong message. So are you going to be able to build a relationship with a broker as a one-man army? It's going to be very, very tough call. I already mentioned it before. I have a friend that hauls specific freight from this one place 90% of the time when he comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And through one specific broker. I don't even think that broker knows him. Because it's only one guy every other week. It's just not enough movement. Not to talk shit. It's just not enough movement to remember. And he does incredible service and the whole 9 yards, but it's just not enough movement to have that solid relationship to where, you can actually start something that's going to work. However, do not write it off for bad service. So there is, building a relationship and ruining a relationship. So just because you're unable to build a relationship does not mean that you can ruin the relationship.
No, yeah, because I understand, that's one guy, like you said, they don't even know him, but in his world, they mean a lot because that's 90% of his outbound freight. It's a bigger deal. So
yes, and also if, you can do 20 loads, no problem, nobody gonna give you a participation trophy for it. You're gonna fuck up one.
I'm gonna snatch that shit.
And we're gonna remember it forever. So, just be a good business, be a good service provider.
Here you go. So what about this bright idea here? No reload strategy.
I don't even know what that is.
I guess
it's probably a non-strategy for somebody who thought it's a strategy.
Maybe somebody just chasing shiny objects, going just because it's whatever, $3 a mile, and now you're in the middle of nowhere.
You know what? Here's how I can spin it. Yes, what you just said, because weak dispatcher with inexperienced owner operator, we're gonna run into those problems. Let's say first load out of Florida, you're coming out, you're gonna take the best paying load to Georgia. You're gonna lose 2 days on that because it was the best paying load.
Mm-hmm.
And now, what's the next best paying load going to be? The Bronx?
And then what?
And then what? Exactly. So if you don't have a strategy, what's there? You always have to be 2 steps ahead.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to end up in a deadhead, and then, you're going to fall off a cliff, and that's it.
Yep. Be aware, guys.
Yep.
All right. Failing to calculate your net profit is a big mistake. It's important, guys, but not at every load every time. That's you have to look at your week on a macro view.
Yeah. So I would say this. Calculate your net profit weekly.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. You got to know your profit. You got to know where you're at. As a matter of fact, to do a really good calculation, you got to do it monthly to really know where you stand. However, biggest mistake that I see people making, actually not failing to calculate their profit, but calculating their profit with every load, and that just burns you out emotionally.
And it just spirals out of control from there.
Yep.
All right. What about trusting your dispatcher blindly?
Never. Don't you ever trust dispatcher. But at the same time,
Wait, what about that guy that already proved himself, though?
No. I think trust but verify. My grandpa used to say that. I would say you got to trust your dispatcher. If you cannot get to some sort of trust with your dispatcher, you need another dispatcher, because it's going to be impossible to be effective on the road, making money, guided by the dude that you do not trust.
Yeah, there's so much.
You got to give them options. Like for the best results, you want to be able to have your dispatcher to book a load for you without calling you. Because if you want the best freight, your dispatcher should be able to tell the broker or the customer, bro, if I take this, like, I don't have to call nobody. I can take this load, because now you're talking authority. Brokers, customers, we get like hosted, we get canceled all the time too. And let's say right now you hit a broker that's already exhausted, he's ready to pay up, right? And he just got canceled twice on, so now he's willing to pull out his own money on the table to get that customer off his back, because it's already 2 trucks that hosted him. And now your dispatcher is telling him, hold on, let me ask my guy, what is he looking for, another host?
Yeah.
If I'm ever hitting one of those brokers, I'm like, look, bro, you're like, if you can do this rate, I don't have to call nobody.
I'll book it right now.
I'll book it right now, and you forget about this load. It's gonna be delivered. That's it.
But you have to get to that happy place of trust with that guy, because if not, man, everything he's gonna offer is met with resistance, and it tastes like shit.
It's just not gonna work. Yep. So it has to be a relationship. You have to, if you are unable to develop a relationship with your dispatcher, I don't know, talk to ops manager. Maybe you need to be repositioned to another dispatcher. Maybe that's going to be easier. Maybe self-reflect a little bit, because, maybe you have, some control issues or whatnot. Or maybe you have a shitty dispatcher that already burned you enough and you cannot trust him. But at that point, it's time for you to move to either next dispatcher or the next company. Speaking of which, give us a call, 863-342-5171. We got some pretty badass dispatchers here that can take care of your business, and you're going to make more money than you ever did.
And the best part, you could trust them. So here you go, guys. Give us a call.
Take care, guys.
Operators looking for the best business owner opportunity, look no further. I got all the programs that are going to make you successful. Everything to operating from 2 different fuel cards, top of the line trailers with a maintenance program that is unbeatable, to plates, insurance, you name it, we got it. All you got to do is give us a call, 863-342-5171. Learn more and get started.